Since this will be the third video in a row of me ostensibly bashing Asami Obari, I figure it's high time we actually step on the brakes and talk about the man for a little bit. Besides, it's better to ease into a freezing river of shit than to just jump right in. Masami Obari got his start back in the mid-80s as a mecha designer for classics like Ixer 1 and Dengayo, and you could definitely see that the man was born to draw mecha. Yeah, his style is pretty busy for my taste, but there is no denying his talent. I made a joke comparing Masami Obari to Rob Liefeld back in my Fatal Fury review, and while this was more of a comment on how both draw in this exaggerated, ridiculous style, the comparison isn't completely apt. Obari does know how to draw, or at least he knows better than Liefeld. It's just that his design sensibility is somewhere between ludicrous and fucking ludicrous. I mean, Obari isn't the only one with an exaggerated and weird style in anime, but he somehow takes it to a whole other level. And I'm surprised how back then, and even now, how much slack the guy gets. Doing research for Voltage Fighter and how it was met, I came across this little gem of a comment. Okay, let me start with the bold statement that everybody is wrong when it comes to the supposed best of anime, namely Ghost in the Shell and Akira. These are the freak show Stanley Kubrick works of anime, and more than likely scared the hell out of newcomers to this wonderful art form. My approach, stardom on Obari, preferably Fatal Fury, Garu Detsetsu in Japan, or the infamous Gowcaizer. Sure, there's a lot of bouncing boobs and the lion's share of violence, but it's actually a pretty cool 90-minute thrill ride. I mean, wouldn't you rather see an armored hero plow a villain into the ground and blast him through some buildings than see some kids start literally exploding? Tell me, who watches that kind of sick shit and actually enjoys it? And where are they? Normal, plain old people like myself don't want cerebral movies. We want enjoyable movies. And Gowcaizer, while low on plot, certainly is enjoyable. Before you call troll, you should know that this comment was written in 1999, and as we all know from our high school internet history classes, trolling wasn't invented until October 1st of 2003 by Christopher Poole. I know I was pretty harsh on Akira in my review, but I'd sooner show Akira to a first-timer 1,000 times over before I'd consider showing Voltage Fighter Gowcaizer. I guess you can find approval for anything if you just look hard enough. Wasn't I supposed to be doing something by now? Oh, yeah, the review. Yeah, Voltage Fighter Gowcaizer is shit-chucking insane. We catch up with Pinky, who's having the mother of all revenge boners against Sephiroth. Him and Dogwoman have been scoping out his lair.
I will enter.
It is clearly an illusory weak point set up as a trap. Master, please reconsider.
God damn it, do we need to get a leash for your tits? The way they've been bouncing around, it looks like you're trying to smuggle squirrels. Meanwhile, Sephiroth decides to give the remaining Wincest sister another stone of power to take her vengeance. Why she had to be naked for this, I really don't know. It doesn't matter though, because the scene is quickly brushed aside for what sounds like a drug PSA.
You know, it's just like he said. It is a drug. Huh. He knew what he meant. It's true. You think you can get away with doing anything on drugs, but you know what? I'm not gonna let myself fall to that level! Ugh.
Guys, I know that video games usually started out with winners don't use drugs, but there's a time and place for this. Generic Man forces Pauldrons to tell him about the stone and where he got it, which he complies, but not before he belittles Taint Misbehavin' here.
Alright, I'll tell you. But it's really a very complicated story. It's better if you stay out of it, Kareen. Erudition is the enemy of beauty.
You know, it's not often that I'm left speechless, but that is such a hateful and uselessly mean-spirited remark that I really have nothing to say to it. Pauldrons just basically told her that you're beautiful, so you better be dumb. Maybe this was supposed to be a joke that, yeah, Taint Misbehavin' here is kinda slow and, I guess, beautiful, and he calls her a dumb bitch by using words that would go right over her head. But if that's the case, then Pauldrons just threw every woman under the bus, not just her. At best, it's a joke that doesn't really work, and at worst, it's a disparaging remark that literally has no narrative or character-building purpose. Hey, Pauldrons, I got a 2-word rebuttal for your sorry ass. Danica McKellar. Woof! I would chart her Euclidean space any day. And, Danica, on the off chance you're watching this? Eh? How about it? Come on, I put the man in differentiable manifold. Urgh. I put the in nerd. So Pauldrons launches into this really nonsensical speech about how Sephiroth is actually being possessed by some ancient power and it's trying to destroy the world, and the magic stones are Sephiroth's way of finding someone to destroy him. Of course, this explanation doesn't really answer why Generic Man was given one, or how Sephiroth was possessed, or anything that needed explaining, really. So we get a 5-minute scene of exposition that answers none of the questions that we've been asking this entire time. Thank you for that one, Gowcaizer. That means a lot to me.
Set me right if I'm wrong about you, Oga. We're like Indian warriors, fighting on foot against the cavalry, or the fierce struggle of an army of ants, swimming together in a torrent.
Or like a desperate writer, trying to give meaning to a meaningless, bullshit, pretentious monologue. The paradox. Still prowling around Sephiroth's lair, Pinky resorts to using his ultimate attack to break through the wall. But Dogwoman tries to hold him back, fearing that unleashing the attack would cripple Pinky. It's all just tedious bullshit anyway.
You think nothing of it even when your flesh is torn. You rise up to fight even when your bones are crushed. I have witnessed your relentless spirit. Now is the time. Please use my body as much as you have to.
But never fear, that one blue-haired woman who's been completely useless up until now shows up in her erotica outfit and somehow breaks the door open by using some kind of special move that I'm sure is from the video game. Oh, and she flashes her panty hamster for good measure before knocking herself the fuck out. Which is a good thing because I was struggling to come up with a nickname for her. You know, other than annoying. As Dogwoman takes Panty Hamster aside to keep her safe, Pinky goes in and seals the door behind him because he's a loner with a tragic past and he can't have anyone risking their lives on his accord, and how many fucking times have we heard this same old song and dance before? He makes his way through the palace as Sephiroth is having a whisper-off with the evil entity possessing him.
It is not only sand. The fire and water will also support life, for all of it plays a part.
Do not worry. As long as divine providence is not defied, life shall be reborn.
And if I were any closer to the microphone, I'd be deep-throating it. But it seems that Pinky sealing the door does absolutely nothing, as Generic Man and Pauldrons bust in and help him dispatch some dispensable baddies. And still the ungrateful shit says fuck you to the both of them and tells them to piss off.
I don't have the time for any of this. Anyway, don't come after me. Having him confuse me with you two would be regrettable.
He sure likes to be dramatic, doesn't he?
Funny, I didn't know being dramatic meant being an asshole. We cut to some more of Sephiroth's dispensable baddies who are attacking the local enforcement because...
What are these creatures? The most advanced weaponry of the UN has no effect on them at all. What? Who is that young girl?
Okay, time out. The most advanced weapons of the UN are no match against a woman with a curtain rod.
All you've got as a weapon is that lousy stick.
Dude, that lousy stick is apparently made for the Tree of Life because it fucking cleaves through these turds. Look at her go! Why does everyone in the story give this character shit? Yeah, she's a little dim, but she can hold her own just fine. And yeah, she dresses ridiculously and she's annoyingly hyperactive, but I'd take 1,000 of her over one of these dickholes any day.
Oh, but I want to go. Where did you take?
Okay, on second thought, maybe not 1,000 of her. Generic Man and Pauldrons make their way further into Sephiroth's lair and come across the vengeance-seeking Wincest sister, and transforms using hers and her brother-lover's stone. Brace yourselves, people, because if you thought you saw the worst that Masami Obari can muster, you thought wrong. Okay, Mr. Robari, how long do you think a woman's pelvic region is? Because I'm willing to bet dollars to donuts that it's not longer than her entire fucking torso. Is she supposed to be part sea spider? She'd need an extra heart in each thigh just to get enough blood pumping to her legs. And don't you just love the fact that the only thing that are protecting her breasts are her angel wing pauldrons? What's she trying to do, hang glide with those suckers? I'm not even going to dignify the fucking thong corset, because if I tried to dissect this woman's outfit any longer, I'm gonna have a stroke. I'm already smelling colors. While the Wincest sister unleashes all hell on Generic Man, Pinky manages to find Sephiroth biding his time, waiting to be found, I suppose.
It is not easy to be laying in wait. I've been held in an unchanging state for 3 years, Kyosuke.
I mean, all you had to do was take the service elevator if you just wanted to fight me to the death. What took you? If you couldn't tell this was based off a video game, the show removes all doubt by having Sephiroth transform into his final form to bout with Pinky. Meanwhile, the Wincest sister is putting up a good fight, but Generic Man has one last trick up his sleeve.
What's wrong? Are you afraid? Or merely plotting your retaliation?
Come and get me.
Huh? You're using the soul gear? That's suicide, Asato!
No, it couldn't be. Could it?
If your goal is to kill me, pure and simple, then I am not gonna try to stop you.
Oh my. Generic Man just made the dumbest move in the history of ever. Yeah, he says he's doing this to prove that she doesn't really want to hurt or kill another person, and that she's still a person underneath this ridiculous armor, but...
My dear brother, no!
Yeah, it doesn't work. What the fuck is going on? He keeps shoving her hand through him. He says he's sorry and she collapses. Does not compute.
I'm sorry about before. Just try to save her somehow. There's something weird going on.
You're telling me, asshole. Alright, I know you're supposed to be broken up about killing your creepy brother lover, but nothing is adding up. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it's going on. My God. Gowcaizer. You just made me care. That will not happen again. Generic Man leaves the Wincest sister with pauldrons, having miraculously healed from having a hand stabbed through his gut. Yeah, because that makes hella sense.
He can run already? He sure can recover quickly.
You know, just because you point out your own plot holes doesn't mean you stop sucking. It looks like Pinky's taking a whooping against Bizarro Sephiroth, but Dog Woman sacrifices herself by providing a nice distraction and an opening for Pinky to finish him off. So, what was the point of Pinky sealing that door again? With the Dog Woman drawing her dying breath, Pinky says his final farewells. And tit shots.
Kumira.
I'm not even going to dignify that cliche with a joke. But all is not well, as anyone who has played Final Fantasy VII knows that there is one last form after Bizarro Sephiroth. The force that possessed Sephiroth erupts from his corpse and engulfs Pinky, and blurts out her reason for being and ultimate purpose. And brace yourselves, people. It's a doozy.
But I'm sure that you've feared the future at least one time in your life. The good things and the bad. It is surely frightening to look at the future no matter what your position. A world that does not progress. That is something that's certain to bring relief. Even the one you refer to as Kyosuke desires this. Even you wish it deep in your subconscious. The end of everything.
That's right. She's going to end the world because people are too scared of what tomorrow may bring and would rather see the world burn. Apparently in this world, everyone is a goddamn pussy. Seriously, the show is trying to pull this bullshit at the last moment. It's really trying to slip this nihilistic twist in a story that centers around magic stones that give boring, lifeless characters really goofy-looking costumes, out-of-place incest, and plot threads that go absolutely nowhere. Yeah, I bet you totally forgot about that teacher from last time, haven't you? Oh, and let's not forget the fan service that doesn't really service any fans, unless you like your boobs lemony and distended. The combined might of Generic Man and Pauldrons is still not enough to overcome Safer Sephiroth here, but luckily Pinky uses Omnislash to cut his way out, leaving an opening for the other two to unleash some kind of attack that would probably break your thumbs if you tried to pull it off. And we end with our heroes looking triumphantly off into the distance, having saved the world from destruction, even though everything looks like it's been completely destroyed. Way to go. I said in the beginning of my review that Voltage Fighter Gowcaizer may be the perfect bad anime, and by now I hope you see what I mean. I've seen worse anime, but I haven't seen one fuck up in so many different ways. Honestly, if you ask me, it actually kind of transcends being horrible and even ironically enjoyable, and achieves this weird sort of meta state where it's so bad that it's worthy of study. It's not like Birdemic, where the badness is the result of amateurism, or like Freddy Got Fingered, where it was supposed to be made as bad as humanly possible. I don't think I've ever seen a film, let alone anime, that is bad in this particular way. I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you can find a copy, watch it, because you don't see badness like this every day. Well, it's been a long time coming, but come next episode, your many questions, comments, and emails will have been heard. Till next time.